Welcome back, friends, to the Battle of Bristol. We've done our absolute best, guys, to keep the Royalists out of the city. But obviously, things are easier said than done, certainly in this case. And what we have to do now is really just try and harm them as much as possible. Those are our orders. So even if we're not able to destroy the enemy here, we are supposed to harm them as much as we can. Maim them, essentially, so that when future forces come to this area, specifically future parliamentarian forces, they won't have as many royalists to deal with. So I'm just making sure we've moved all of our units here. I believe we have. We've obviously still got the spearmen units that are just waiting to get a piece of those royalists. And I'm going to go ahead and end the turn, turning it over to the royalists, guys. Let's see how things go here. They're still trying to breach the wall. Of course, some of these units have, and I was trying to trap them. We'll see how well those traps work as we proceed here. As you can see, they've also got some cavalry there on the ridge. I'm not sure if those are just general units or if that's reinforcements. I'm fairly sure they're reinforcements, especially those cavalry on the eastern side there. Alright, they actually managed to break our unit without killing a single man with that shot. Essentially, our men were just terrified of that cannon blast. We've also had a unit disperse over here. And of course, now it's all about just trying to maximize casualties for the enemy. She got one of their units to disperse, but it's not really going to help us as we move forward here. Hold, boys. It's going to be the Royalist turn at this point. Let's see if they make the full breach of the city, or if they're just going to stay outside here. I really hope they stay outside. Great shots by our boys. And of course, if we could break one of these central units, that would help. I don't think it's going to change the battle in our favor. But, you know, could cause a slight panic amongst the enemy. Really nice shots there. And we actually broke that unit. I'm surprised. Of course, they did auto-break our cannon, but I am very surprised, especially since we were outside of the city walls, that muskets alone broke that Royalist unit. Good job, guys. Oh, that's what I'm always worried about. Charges like that. Now, if we had this cavalry turn the right way, we might be able to do a flank charge. Well, actually, no, these are pike and shots, so I don't believe you can actually flank charge them unless they're engaged in an attack. Alright, boys, fight to the very end if you need to. Gotta try to make it through this battle. And I definitely think that some of these units we could potentially break this turn. I mean, obviously, we have to get pretty lucky with these attacks, but I think there's a chance we could break a few Royalist units this turn. Again, I don't think it's going to turn the battle in our favor, but maybe it'll accomplish that goal of doing as much damage as possible. Wow, every single shot missed just then. Wow! Really, guys? Finally, those light guns finally scored a hit, and we fragmented that unit once again. So I think we'll be able to really break that unit on the southern side of the city. Look at all that cavalry the enemy has. It feels like they're getting more cavalry every turn, and perhaps they are. They finally disrupted our actual pike and shot, or excuse me, our commanded shot unit right here. Commanded shot, of course, doesn't have any pikes in it. It's entirely muskets. Let's see. So we could turn towards this guy, open fire. We could definitely go ahead and charge this guy, which I think would be a great idea. So let's charge with our parliamentarian pikemen into the Royalist pike and shot. And I believe now we can actually get that flank attack. Ooh, maybe not because of the zone of control. I didn't even consider that. Fair enough. So, what to do? That's a tough situation, boys. I'll just turn towards the enemy. I don't think much will be accomplished there, actually. And as you can see, disrupted. We might even break this particular turn. I'm going to reserve my shots for that unit since this unit's about to break anyway. Let's see if we can at least somewhat damage those guys. Now, this is the unit that I was really hoping we could break in the north. So there's 3. Let's see how this goes. So close, yet they're not getting very good shots. Open fire, boys! Oh, just one of them going down there. Just pathetic. Now, that charge would absolutely be a failure. We can try and break the rest of these units. Let's really focus on these guys right outside of the wall. I was going to try to turn towards him, but I messed up that click there. We've, of course, still got a ton of clubmen back here, but they serve very little purpose, especially in this location. Nice, 2. Come on, you can do it, boys. Let's take a look over here. So it looks like they have stopped. If I'm not mistaken, they have stopped moving into the city here. This gives us an opportunity to move out and see if we can't now have the fight on our own terms. I might even send the clubmen out, although I think it's best to send these parliamentarian pikemen out. If we can manage to charge one of these guys next turn, we could absolutely get a break. Alright, let's break this guy. Fragmentation. It'd be great to break him immediately so that we can sort of spread our shots around to other units. 2. Come on. Of course, there's that return fire, and even with those walls, the fire is so constant that they're still going to make quite a few casualties. And we did manage to break them. Unfortunately, the break really didn't spread much, if at all. So what I'm going to do is try to focus on this guy right here. Essentially try to focus on these 2 coming up the road. If we can get the shot, we might as well, right? Open fire. Not a single hit. Not a single hit. All right, guys. We're turning it over to the Royalists. I'm hoping that the residual shooting phase will be benevolent to us, but I don't think so. It's really coming down to the end of the line here. The cannons that the enemy's using are so much better, too. Just looks like they've actually got cannoneers capable of some damage, unlike our own. I don't know, maybe we've run out of cannonballs and we're just firing silverware at the enemy. It's certainly possible. Now, this is where I'm really hoping things go well for our parliamentarian pikemen. They've got to win that shot, that fight in the city for us to have any sort of shot. And I think it's also going to greatly increase enemy casualties. If we have the enemy retreating through our city, be hacking away at him at every single moment, I think it could be very, very helpful. Withering fire, guys, from the Cornish Royalist pike and shots here to the south. They've been a hell of an opponent since the beginning of the fight, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I was worried about that charge. Now we have to decide whether we want to charge with the rest of our commanded shot. As you can see, the enemy broke through there. They probably can hit our parliamentarian horse quite soon. And I think this unit's just going to break. I'd be amazed if they didn't break this turn. Once again, our unit charges, or the enemy unit charges, our unit evades when they shouldn't be. They should be trying to hold here. Essentially opened up the city. That's an auto break. No surprise there. Another break. Wow. So that I didn't expect. But again, the units were next to each other, so you know, obviously that break can trickle off and affect other units. More reinforcements arriving, of course. And now it looks like their cavalry is finally advancing. Yeah, this is really just the coup de grace. They're pretty much just trying to finish us off at this point. They're sending in their cav to really mop things up. It's a tough time for any parliamentarians in the city, I will say that. I would be terrified, even if I wasn't, in the military, if I was simply just a supporter of Parliament in this battle. I can only imagine once the Royalists make it into the city, boy, there must have been a lot of killing. Storming of Bristol. Royalists are no fun when they capture you. Yeah, there's very little left to be done, I think, on our side. The chances we have are, of course, massacring the enemy units that are already in the city. Also in the south, we seem to have, decent amount of units not yet broken or anything. But I think the battle has to end soon there in the north. The enemy's absolutely breached. I think it's pretty much all about who comes out on top in these fights now. Come on, boys. Let's make these Royalists run. We're already at 38%, and again, the enemy just has to get us to a 45% difference. But there you go, our parliamentarian pikemen massively advantaged the enemy pike and shot, and we actually managed to disrupt them. Again, this is where we have a chance of at least increasing casualties significantly amongst the enemy army. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, that's right, we've already done the attack. We can't attack again. I really wish we could. Turn around, open fire. There we go, that unit broke. Oh, 2 units breaking there at the same time. Is it 3? 3 units breaking. This is when it all comes tumbling down, as you can imagine. Now, what about over here? Do we have any disrupted units? Doesn't look like it. I'm still going to target that unit right in the middle there. He's just in the perfect area to get shot at. So we're going to go ahead and oblige him. Let's take another shot. 9. Wow, excellent shot there. Our artillery haven't gotten shots like that in a long time, so I'm quite impressed. Kind of annoyed that they're not getting disrupted or anything, but then again, how could they be? Well, there we go. Fragmented. Then again, how could they be? Considering the fact that they have so many men out here, it would truly be cowardly if anybody ran from this battle. Now, I wonder, why can't we turn with this guy? I guess we have to charge this unit here. I'll go for it. I should have opened fire first. But what I will do is see if I can't join the attack. If not, I'm going to go ahead and put the commanded shot up here. I'm trying to get back to that fort up on top of the hill, but considering the shots we're taking here, that might not be possible. Alright, guys, what about getting a shot on these units? Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to attack this turn, but what about our famous clubmen? I don't think they're going to perform very well, but their job is to jump into the enemy ranks and pretty much just go crazy in terms of hand-to-hand combat. So not a bad start. Let's turn. And of course, we're not going to be able to fire, but perhaps what we could do is charge them next turn if we survive. Until next turn, of course. I have no idea how these guys got all the way out here, but I'm going to bring them back, and we'll go ahead and attack the enemy from the rear as well. Fire. And I'll also move the clubmen out here, guys, just in case we get another opportunity to attack the enemy. I think they'd be great to send in the clubmen. Let's end the turn. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be pretty, but, we have